Good morning, everyone. It is truly wonderful to be here with you today, and congratulations on graduation, and more importantly, what you have achieved that allowed you to be here today. This is a big day. I will never forget my first trip to UNC. I grew up just south of Boston and visited UNC on a college tour in 1980. I flew to Denver, met a friend, and we drove up to Greeley. I had the college catalog in my hand that showed UNC clearly at the base of Long's Peak. We drove up I-25. We got to the intersection of I-25 and Highway 34, and the sign said Greeley East. And I said, that's impossible. The college campus is at the base of that mountain over there. So I like to say, trick photography got me to UNC. The college visit sold me, and my then girlfriend and now wife, who I met at Harrison Hall, our freshman year kept me in Greeley. You can only imagine, as a kid from Boston, Greeley was a bit of a cultural shock. But the perspectives I gained, being out of my element, were invaluable, allowing me to learn as much outside the classroom as inside. I have to tell you, though, it does feel a bit surreal standing here and doing this commencement address. I don't remember who spoke at my high school or college commencement, and I'm sure you won't either. But to be honest, I never believed I'd graduate from high school, let alone college. I've had some personal challenges, and I'm going to share some of those with you that I really just recently started talking about in public. When I became chairman of the AICPA, I was asked if I was concerned about anything. I'd given plenty of talks, done lots of extemporaneous speeches, presentations from PowerPoints, but I had not often read from prepared remarks, and that did concern me. I would have to give hundreds of speeches from others' prepared remarks without any preparation. And see, I struggle with reading. I have severe dyslexia. It was never something I openly discussed. I hid it from all my professors. My family knows about it. It's not a secret in my office. The main requirement for the administrative assistants I've had over the years is that they've won a spelling bee. I couldn't pass a second grade spelling test. Two things happened to me that allowed me to really realize I was being sent a message. First, I was given a speech in Oklahoma. Another speaker talked about how he had struggled in life early with dyslexia. Then 2 weeks later at a leadership conference in Colorado, Tommy Spalding, who now lives in Colorado, he wrote a New York Times best-selling book called It's Not Just Who You Know. He talked about the same thing. As a kid, he struggled with dyslexia. I struggled with it too, as soon as I had to read and comprehend and take those dreaded spelling tests. Through a lot of hard work, I learned how to deal with it, some cases succeed with it. More importantly, it provided me with different perspectives and valuable life lessons. I submit, for one to achieve the highest levels of success, you must be willing to take on and conquer the challenge. To say it another way, if you're not willing to try and fail, you will never have the opportunity to succeed. So believe me when I tell you graduating from UNC was one of the biggest achievements of my life. That's an understatement. My high school teachers would tell you it was more of a miracle. I'm the only person I know in my peer group that hasn't transitioned into multiple jobs. Even though the name's changed, I've worked for the same firm for my entire professional career. I went to work in public accounting after graduating from UNC, and I've been there ever since. I've always thought that the two primary jobs I've had, camp counselor as a kid and CPA, are strangely similar. Parents drop their kids off at camp expecting they'll learn something and come back healthy. That's not so different from business owners handing over their financial well-being to their CPAs. Summer camp is also where I gained a perspective on what's commonly referred to as work-life balance. but what I like to refer to as work-life integration. I think it's impossible to eliminate work from life and life from work. Work-life integration successfully blends the two. What better place than as a camp counselor to learn work-life integration? Virtually all of us walk around with smartphones. We use them to text, send messages to our loved ones and friends. When you begin working on that same device, you're going to be receiving messages from coworkers, potentially vendors, employers, others that you may be working with. Technology allows us to integrate work and life. And the next generation, and as the next generation of leaders, you truly understand that. You get it, you expect it, and you'll help drive that in the future. Not far from this camp that I worked at, right near my home, was a 300 vertical foot ski area. Exactly twice the size of Shark's Tooth ski area. The ski area that was in existence and opened and operated right up the street in Greeley, Colorado. Yes, there was a ski area in Greeley. Another thing that tricked me into coming to UNC. At Blue Hills, I learned how to ski. The instructor said, if you can ski here, you can ski anywhere. It was there that I dreamed of skiing in Colorado. May I remind you that dreaming of Colorado and going to college was a huge dream for a kid with dyslexia. What I learned was, dream big, anything is possible. If you write down your dreams, they become goals. If you tell people about those goals, they'll hold you accountable to those goals. Dream big, anything is possible. Let me conclude with a message from another book called 212, The Extra Degree by Sam Parker. It talks about how at 211 degrees, you only have hot water. But at 212 degrees, you have boiling water that can power a locomotive. Today, you're graduating from college. Where will you be a year from now, 5 years from now, 25 years from now? Imagine the possibilities if you put forward that one extra degree in your personal lives, in your professional lives, in your future work lives. Push new boundaries, explore new terrain, discover new opportunities. You will be able to take on and conquer any challenge. From one very proud UNC alumni to each and every one of you, congratulations, and remember, dream big.